first and foremost, if nobody told you as of yet today, I love you. If nobody told you as of yet today, I am proud of you. You're going to continue to achieve anything you set out to do. You understand me? Also, you already know I do have to give you that brief disclaimer. I only want you to take what resonates, and I want you to leave the rest behind, all right? I don't want you trying to force certain scenarios for you. If you don't get your confirmation through me, I guarantee you're going to get it through somebody else, so be patient with your process. Also, y'all already know that voice too raspy to be whispering. So this about the time that you probably want to go ahead and hit that volume, all right? So thank you so much in advance. Thank you so much for the gifts that you send, because I don't always get to pause what I'm saying to acknowledge you. So I appreciate you. All the loves, likes, shares, and subscribes that you send to me, kind words that you say to me, as well as each other too. I appreciate you, all right? So let's get started, chosen ones. And as a reminder, you already know I'm going to upload this live later to my YouTube, so just click the link in my bio and to subscribe to the channel. So let's get started. I want you to realize that everything and all the answers that you're asking for, thank you, baby. I appreciate you so much. I want you to realize that everything that you are seeking the answer for has already been presented to you. And when I say this, chosen ones, it came in various forms. See, we're going to go back pertaining to past people that you were selecting, past friendships, past positions, whatever the case may have been, right? See, you sat there and seen certain signs and synchronicities that God was showing you about them. So when you initially started showing interest in them, you may have noticed that they ain't had time for you, for an example. You may have seen that they don't respond to you. You may have seen that it's always you reaching out to these individuals and never them reciprocating that energy back to you. You've seen certain signs, right? See, you were shown certain things that didn't align with certain things that you wanted. So you may have wanted children. The other person may have still been undecided. You may have wanted marriage. That may have been something that they may have considered, but that's not something that they guarantee wanted, right? God showed you certain signs and synchronicities pertaining to this person. So for instance, every time you think about them, how are you feeling? See, every time you think about them, what songs are you hearing? See, if I don't know about you, but every time I think about an individual, if Lil Uzi happens to come on talking about this ain't what you want, guess what? I don't have no rap for that. God's going to use everything around you as a sign of synchronicity to see and show you exactly where you're supposed to be at, right? See, I want you to realize, chosen ones, God will show you certain signs and synchronicities, and that's equivalent to a summary, right? So you know how if you are wanting to know if this book really has your interest, if this book really is something that you even want to take time and read on, see, God will show you a little quick, brief summary of who that person is that you are intending to be with. So again, you'll see certain karma coming quick, certain heartbreaks that you experience with them, certain disappointments, certain lies that get presented to you, certain signs and synchronicities. Again, these are the summary that God shows you what you're going to get with that individual. If early on they showing you that they can't respond, God's showing you a quick summary like, listen, this may hurt right now. This may break you down right now. This may have you sad, mad, feeling like you in lack right now. But this is what you would get if that is the selection that you selected. So God will show you a quick little summary. And it's up to you whether or not you want to continue to do it. See, some of you done got shown that this person is a cheater, that this person was going to cheat on you. You done seen them entertaining other individuals outside of you. See, at that point in time, you had an option. Which way you going to go? God showed you that this is the patterns that this person has. So therefore, you already know. God sat there and presented to you the truth about these individuals just to show you what you will be selecting had you chosen. Certain job positions as well. He'll show you that you working so hard doing things outside of what that position even entails. You out there working so hard, but you receiving less. Certain bosses is taking advantage of you, leaving you stressed. You feel like you got to choose between home life and work life. Whether or not you had to work all the time or not get paid for it, so on and so forth. God will show you a quick summary of what you're going to get. And guess what? You're going to have to pick and choose which one you're going to go with. God will show you a quick glimpse. See, let me tell you, the devil does quick glimpses too. See, the devil allows certain people to see sudden success, so they think, right? That's what they assuming. They'll make certain deals with the devil, sell their soul as well, thinking that they gonna get certain luxuries. Whole time was going to tell. See, I'm trying to tell you, the devil will show them a quick glimpse of what they could have got had they did the right thing. So they'll see abundance quick. They'll see certain people reaching out to them, certain attention, acknowledgement that they're gonna receive. But with that doesn't come longevity. See, I'm trying to tell you. God will show you a quick glimpse too, just to see how you gonna react, how you gonna carry you. See, chosen ones, it doesn't just go pertaining to the negative aspect as well, but pertaining to certain things that's gonna have you excel. You understand me? So yeah, you may be upset that in that moment you felt heartbreak. In that moment you felt sad. In that moment you felt taken advantage of. In that moment you felt like you was in lack. But again, God showed you a quick glimpse of what you was going to get had you continue to select that path and position that you were headed towards. You understand? See, let's talk, chosen ones. It also goes pertaining to positive too. See, I'm trying to tell you, God shows you certain things, a quick glimpse just to let you know what he has something in store for you. That quick summary. So if God tells you you're going to have love, you're going to have it. If God tells you you're going to be abundant, you're going to be abundant. If God says you're going to get acknowledgement for the work that you put in, you're going to get that. If God tells you that you're going to get all your rewards that people in the past may have taken from you, certain things that you sacrificed, certain material things for other individuals, you understand me? Everything that was taken for you is returned back to you. Everything that was done to you, now you're starting to see exactly why it was done. It had nothing to do with you but those beings that you was trying to see a certain future with. See, chosen ones, let's talk, right? God will sit there and tell you, you're going to be successful. This is your purpose. Guess what you got to do? You have to put your faith in God that he's going to provide that for you, that he's going to stick to his truth. See, the devil will try to turn around and interrogate you, right? So what do I mean? See, I want you to realize the devil doesn't have the ability to see and show you the same things. The devil doesn't have intuition. The devil doesn't have certain feelings. The devil doesn't have certain insight. The devil isn't on the same channel and energy and frequency as God, so therefore he doesn't know what's aligned with you. That's inside of you. That's a you understand? That's an internal map in the sense that the devil can't get his hands on unless you allow him, unless you present him that information. So therefore, again, you got to be cautious of who you talking to and who you telling certain moves to, what you plan for you too, because the devil doesn't know that love is right around the corner unless you tell him. So now what's he going to do? Have somebody dressed up to try to play that position, to try to finesse you. The devil will sit there, hear you talking about certain finances. So what does he do? He'll do everything in his power to try to have you feeling less or certain money having to get taken from you. He'll have certain distractions that you know that you shouldn't be buying, or certain people that's coming to you talking about they need something from you because they know that you always the individual to provide it. See, God will sit there and again he'll show you certain things, but the devil will try to disguise themselves too. Again, the devil doesn't have that clear view. The devil doesn't have certain proof. What he's going to try to do is interrogate you, to have you sitting there what do I mean, chosen ones? When I say that, the devil will interrogate you because God will show you, hey, success is going to come if you continue to do this. Your purpose is going to eventually provide that profit. This person is who you're going to spend your life with, so on and so forth, right? God and told you. You've seen that for a fact. Whether or not you've seen that in a vision, whether or not you felt that intuitively, whether or not you've seen that in a dream, whatever the case may be, God showed you exactly what he had planned for you, right? God told you exactly what was headed towards you, right? So therefore, with that quick glimpse, because God can't have that open so that the devil can look over your shoulder and see exactly what he has intended for you, God's going to show you that quick little flash like, hey, yo, look real hard. Pay attention to it. So you think about how you felt in that moment when God showed you it. When you sat there and thought about your purpose and what it meant to you, and God told you that you was going to be successful as long as you did what he asked you to. You know how you felt that in your heart. You know how you felt when you sat there and did your first song. How you felt when you had sat there and did that hobby that really was your purpose. How you felt within it, right? Certain moves that you made, certain thought process that you had at that time. See, I want you to realize God showed you a quick glimpse because the devil, had he kept that vision open, the devil would have been able to look over your shoulder, see exactly what God's given to you, and know specifically how to try to sabotage those things for you. So again, that quick glimpse, that quick moment that you felt, that spark that you felt when you thought about it, when you thought about how you about to have your new house, about how you about to have your new whip, how you about to be around certain soul tribe individuals, people that are really aligned with your way of thinking, how God told you that this is going to be successful. You just have to remember what he told you in that moment, right? Okay, cool. Because guess what the devil going to do? The devil's going to come through and try to interrogate you. See, the devil don't know the moves that God has in store. The devil doesn't know exactly what is heading towards you. So the devil going to come and question you, ask certain questions just to see how you going to carry it, what you going to reveal to them, or if you're going to stay in your truths longer than they going to live in their lives in a sense. So therefore, what do I mean, chosen ones? I want you to think of, let's say something similar to like how the police will have no proof on whatever crime happened, how they'll have no witnesses in a sense, nothing on camera, nothing, you understand me, nothing to go by. But what they gonna do, if they need somebody to take the blame or take the rap, they gonna come to that person and ask them a million questions just to see if they gonna stick in their truth, just to see if they gonna slip up and rebuttal a little bit, whether or not that person is gonna start acting scary and allow them to energetically sabotage them, whether that person is going to start admitting to certain things that didn't happen just because that interrogation, because that pressure that is getting placed on them. See, the devil gonna come try to interrogate you too, make you start to rethink certain things that God already showed you, have you rethink whether or not you're going to be successful, sit there and rethink whether or not God was going to bless you, have you rethink whether or not love was going to present itself to you, have you rethink all of these things that God already shown you. You understand me? So what is your job, chosen ones? To remember what God told you he was going to do. Remember that quick moment of clarity that you had, where you was able to see through these illusions and projections that other people was placing on you. See, chosen ones, I want you to think of what your job is. See, that's kind of ironic, right? See, a lot of people will focus on jobs, certain finances that's coming in, how they going to pay this, how this is going to get paid. They sitting there settling on some so-so energies to provide a sense of stability. That's not how it's going to happen, but let's talk, right? A lot of you are focused on your job, not even realizing what a job really is. See, if we reference the Bible, if we're going to go by scriptures and stories, what was the main subject pertaining to what the book of Job or the book of Job really is? See, on this 3D level, they make you focus on your finances. A job is something that has income coming in, certain wealth that comes with it. But if you think pertaining to spiritual meaning and how it means in the Bible, see, the book of Job or Job, based upon how you pronounce it, right? It was telling you about having faith, not allowing certain things that, again, see, the book of Job was sitting there focused on his finances, certain abundance, material things. And in that scripture, in those stories, God sat there and had all these certain circumstances get presented to him. God sat there and had those finances dwindle. Certain health start mess up too. See, God sat there and showed him in the end it wasn't about what you had pertaining to material things, but what you had within you. See, Job had to sit there and focus on what God told him, what it was going to be and what it was. He had to trust to him and put his obedience in him intuitively. See, his job was to keep faith. His job was to focus on what God told him he was going to get, not look over his shoulder to see exactly what God was going to do in order for him to obtain it. See, the devil done finessed you, having you thinking about working is 9 to 5 or working 12-hour shifts and all of these things to get certain material abundance. That is your job. Whole time your job is to keep your faith. Your job is to know that God told you that he had you. He was going to lead that way. See, chosen ones, don't get swindled. You focusing on the wrong shit. You focusing on finances. You focusing on this, not even realizing intuitively you already equipped with it. You got a million dollar mentality. You have certain visions and you can see certain things that other people don't have the ability to do. You are a literal chosen individual. That means God personally selected you. God put a piece of him personally in you. So therefore you his pop-up generator in a sense. So when other people have certain energy absent, they have the ability to plug into you and you light them up again. See, chosen ones, You better know what your job is, and that is to keep your faith. That is you to keep focused. God will show you certain brief things. See, how did you feel when that person, see, some of you had certain false starts too with certain individuals. God showed you that this was your twin. This was your true soulmate. This was the person that you were supposed to be with. This is your kingdom spouse, meaning that y'all already married. But on the 3D level right now, you may not see it. See, God will sit there and tell you that this person is for you, how you felt when you was with them. They knew you without you having to tell anything with them. They shared the same experience. They sat there and felt a spark with them. Y'all can speak telepathically. You ain't even have to open up your mouth. They already know what you was feeling. They had to tell you that they was having a bad day. You had already by then reached out to them. See, they already seen how when certain issues happen, how you handled them, how you sat there and y'all came to y'all senses. Y'all wasn't clashing. God showed you a brief glimpse, right, of what you could get had you selected that path. See, some of you was all bored, but that other individual had certain loose ends. The other person, again, had to put their fear aside. They had to put the unknown aside and be willing to take certain risks. See, they are so used to taking certain risks with so shit, because in the end, they know when in a sense what they was going to get. See, they sat there and settled for so individuals because they knew that they was going to get disappointed. They knew what was going to come. They knew that that person was going to be cool, cheat on them, then turn around and spend money on them. They knew that this person was going to do this, that was going to do that. So therefore, they felt like they had control in a sense because they knew what was to be expected. Whole time, they realized that God was sitting there allowing them to see through all their blessings, was sit there and embedded in you, that the answer to their prayers came through when they crossed paths with you, that everything that they was praying for, that escape, that faith, align with their purpose, know who they are, that God sat there and presented to them when he had you presented to them, because you are a reflection of them too. So therefore, they seen in a sense what they was getting. You understand me? But some of them wasn't willing to live in their truth. So therefore, again, God showed them a quick glimpse. This is what you get. Some of them decided to go back and give another chance to that so shit. See, when they got there, all they could think about was you. Or they could sit there and compare you to that individual that they selected over you. They sit there and try to mold and create that person into you. Whole time they realize doing so created certain karmic consequences too. Because the more that they try to mold that individual to you, the more that they sat there and gave them certain opinions or certain recommendations, whole time they was having try to have that person replace you, try to have that person dress up like you to be you instead of playing that position with you. But let's talk. There's karmic consequences that come with that. Because the more that they try to mold those individuals into you, the farther that those people got from themselves in a sense. So therefore, in the end, they still was going to be disappointed in them because that's not truly who that person is. That's just who they molded them into. You understand me? So, chosen ones, I'm telling you, you sit there and are going to get presented certain things. See, some of the partners that you select are already in a connection. Certain, your twin flames could already be in a situation. And God showed you that this is the person for you. God showed you that this is your true love. But then again, God also told you to be patient. You had to walk away from them while they closed certain ends up. See, some of them could have been married when they met you. They could have been on the outs with their spouse. Then all of a sudden, they seen something greater in you than they've seen in anybody else. See, they may have had 10, 11, 12 years with that past person. They may have called themselves setting up a certain foundation, but that's a foundation that kept crumbling. They had to keep rebuilding with them because it wasn't solid in the first place. So now they test for you is to see if they going to sit there and sacrifice all those lies in order to live in their truth. See, yeah, you may have been hurt when they was doing what they did and you had to walk away because there ain't no options when it comes to you. You understand me? You have everything that that person was praying for, asking for, and is. So therefore, you're not going to settle to be a side chick, a side masculine, whatever the case may be. You're not no option. You the only. You understand me? So God showed you a quick glimpse. That's the person you're supposed to be with. However, they had to make a decision. But you had to stick through and remember what God told you, that this was an individual in the first place. See, when God showed you that this is your person and what y'all can have, you believe that. But at the same time, you got to put it in God's hands. You can't sit there and try to make certain situations happen. It got to flow instantly. It's in divine alignment. You understand me? So, chosen ones, you can't sit there and ask God for something or expect God to do his job while you looking over his shoulder the whole time. Nah, if you felt like you can do it better, why you ain't do it then? Huh? You asking God for certain things, and he's presenting it in several forms, but you just not seeing it. You understand me? You done asked God to sit there and disconnect anybody who truly wasn't for you, and people started to walk away from you, and you feeling a certain type of way. You out here talking to God crazy. You out here talking about, oh God, why you do that? Whole time he said, didn't you say you want some real people around you? Didn't you say you don't want people that doubt you? Didn't you say you don't want nobody pausing your progression, but you got an attitude with God, because therefore he's helping you learn these lessons? Huh? What that mean? Oh, okay. So you want to ask God for certain things, but you want to sit there and do it for him, right? That's almost like somebody asking you for a favor, and because you know or have certain gifts or abilities that you can do, when they gonna sit there and tell your ass how to do it, you gonna get irritated too. You gonna say, here, do it then. If you feel like you do it better than what I do, or you gotta look over my shoulder as I do it, then therefore you do it then. You understand me? See, what your job is to trust that God is strategically aligning everything how it's supposed to be. See, you sat there and said that you want a job who's not going to take advantage of you, or you wanted a sense of stability. All of a sudden, that job fired you or no longer has hours for you, and you sitting there asking God why he did this towards you. Whole time you don't even know what he did on behalf of you, because you was going to settle based upon the promises that they gave you. No promotion did they have. They wasn't going to sit there and really pay you for your work. They was going to see if you was settling for lacking. You was sat there and felt like this job was stable for you. Whole time it had you separated from the individuals that you truly love. You wasn't able to balance out that job and your family life too, and you damn sure didn't have enough time for love. So what do you mean? You ask God for certain things and you start to see it, but you're going to have your face all messed up because it ain't presented in the form that you wanted. But had it got presented in the form that you wanted, you would have been saying the same shit later down the road, because again, that quick summary, that quick glimpse of what you're going to have. You sat there and was complaining about you feeling in lack. You was energetically drained. Had you stayed in that situation, where your ass would have thought you was at? You wouldn't even had enough energy to complain. You would have been getting beat the fuck up. Let's be honest. Energetically. You understand me? So therefore, when you ask God for certain things, sit your ass back and allow it to be. If God told you that you're going to have love, you don't sit there and say, oh, this person is really that. You can honor and acknowledge the feeling what you had with them, but at the same time, it's based upon them whether or not they going to step up and play that position. If not, I guess I'm going to see you next lifetime then. Because guess what God's going to do? Have somebody else get presented that's going to play that position. Somebody else that's preparing for it. So therefore, you got to be open to receive the things that you want, but know that it's going to come in various forms. See, some of y'all be doubting you. What do I mean by that, right? Some of you not even realizing that you currently living the prayer that you just was asking for. But because, okay, so first you sat there and said that you wanted a job. You was praying God for a job, right? Because you needed certain finances to build yourself up. In order to get a place, you had to have finances coming through. In order to get a whip, you had to have certain finances coming through. So you asked God for a job, and God gave you a job. Now you was able to get a place. Now you was able to get a car, but you complaining because you only have enough money to pay those things. When you just was in a position where you ain't even have a spot to live at. You ain't even have a job where income was coming in. So therefore, now you have enough nerve to be ungrateful when your answer to your prayers have already gotten presented, that you asked God what you were supposed to do, what your calling was, and he showed you your purpose, but because that prophet didn't come through yet, you sitting there doubting it. It's patience that comes with it. You got to build momentum even when you think of certain races too. They start off slow, then they start getting faster. That's the same thing pertaining to you. See, some of you are waiting for everything to drop at one time. Whole time you ain't even realizing that it's a slow but steady incline, that you already elevating. You already, now if you went from not having a job, now you have a job, didn't have enough to pay your bills, now your bills is paid. Now what do you think comes next? Now you're going to have enough money to save. Now you, again, slow progression, but it's steady progressing. Give yourself credit. God told you was going to have abundance, have love, all of these things. So your finances is taking off, but love didn't come in yet. Now you feeling like you ain't successful because this one area of your life you feel is lacking. Whole time, again, I say this all the time, think about how you plant certain produce too. How tomatoes, you gotta sit there and plant them at this time before this season they'll actually come through. Okay, watermelon, and this time, this is the season that you have to plant it in order for it to come through in this different season. So realize this. Certain things that you seeing is based upon the season that you planted. You sat there and planted for your finances first. That's what's going to start to flourish first. You're going to see certain fruits start to come through. Guess what? That means in due time, when it's that season for love, that's going to produce too. You got to stay watering it. Huh? This your season to obtain all of these things. When I tell you you're going to have love, it's here. You're not seeing it. You are love. You not acknowledging that people are showing you love everywhere that you go to based upon that glow within you, based upon the fact that you turn into love, so that's what gets attracted to you. Something as simple as, oh, shorty, I like your outfit. I like your hair. Oh, I like this. Them sitting there liking certain things, even them liking your pic, whatever the case may be, love is all around you, but you choose to look over that to see what's lacking. How that work? It's all in your perspective. So therefore, again, chosen ones, I want you to pay attention to certain signs and synchronicities that get presented to you. God will show you a quick glimpse of what you're going to get. If you decide to sign that lease with that so-so shit, well, what you think is be expected. Oh, that person cheated on you. Oh, you feel like you want to deal with that for the rest of your life? Cool. See, you going based upon right now. All right, cool. You want to go down that road? Cool, go down that road then. You say you want success, but you settling with that person who's energetically sabotaging your finances. You talking about you want this, but you depending on somebody else in order to get it. You always gonna be empty-handed then. You talking about you want to take trips, but you can't take trips because you ain't got friends, or you can't take trips unless you got a woman or a man. You sitting there talking about you can't do certain things, whole time you can. Do it for you. Oh, you talking about, oh, I can't wait till I'm married so I could buy a house or buy this. Buy that shit for yourself. Why you gotta go and wait for somebody else to give you their approval? You talking about, oh, I can't wait till somebody take me on a date, or I can dress up for something. Shit, you can do that now. Why you gonna wait till somebody else presents themselves in order for you to take that role? Oh, nah, do it for you. Because if that person that you align with decides not to do those things for you, you still going to be in the same location that you at, talking about how you waiting for the next person to present that shit. No. Do it for you. Dress up if you want to. You understand me? Get cute if you want to for you. When they say who you getting cute for, me, myself, and I, Father, God, and the Holy Ghost. You understand whoever you say. You better know that. You understand me? Chosen ones. You ain't got to wait for nobody else's approval, because half the time they missed that sign. The same sign God showed you. See, they was distracted by sex. They was distracted by finances. So when God showed them that quick glimpse on certain circumstances, they wasn't paying attention. They ain't see that shit. So therefore, what do they have to do? Go based upon your truth in order to know how certain things is going to puzzle in. See? You better know that. You hear me? I'm trying to tell you. Certain opportunities is getting presented to you. That love that you wanted, oh, you that for real. That prosperity that you wanted, oh, you that for real. If you waiting for a come up from somebody else, you going to always be without. Because you depending on somebody else. So if they luck run out or certain things fall through for them, you still going to be sitting there in the same situation that you in. But now you got somebody else to depend on you too. Now you further in that hole instead of being with somebody else who's going to energetically, mentally, spiritually elevate you. See, chosen ones, you better start living in your truth. You hear me? I'm trying to tell you, you think y'all signing up for all these hard-ass jobs. God already showed you that that was a temporary job with that person. That was a temporary season. See, I done been there too, but God has showed me this ain't the individual for you. You may conceive children with them, but this ain't the person for you. And at that opportunity, I had to choose what I was going to do. See, at that time, I felt like, because I knew what it is, okay, well, I'll take this route. Whole time, that was just pausing certain progression. Whole time, that was wrapped up in all these endless karmic lessons. At that time, I had to realize that I had a choice to make. Just because I knew what it is doesn't mean that I needed to allow that person to seal my fate, see? Just because you can't do it don't mean that it need to be done. You understand me? Just because you didn't got over certain rough situations before don't mean that you need to sign yourself back up. Just because you done survived this shit before don't mean that you need to feel like you're going to thrive in this shit. Be complacent with these so-so situations. You feeling like you got to work so hard in order to obtain it. God told you that you sat there and put all that work in. So now's your season for retirement. Now's your season for certain things to naturally align with you. Now's the season for other people to pour into you. Other seasons for certain things and fruitions to come through. Are you going to still be waiting for that person to sit there, depend on them, for them to have certain harvests come through? Now, when they do, you don't even realize that they going through your blessings and leaving certain scraps for you. You sat there and said that you wanted abundance, but you waiting for that person to present it. You talking about you want money, but you depending on that person for their finances. If you don't take that risk and get your ass out, because God's going to stop putting that payment in your hand, and he's going to have you paying it to yourself. You understand me? See, I want you to think of this, chosen ones. There's certain energies, individuals, these entities that are using you. And you thinking that they paying you whole time, they paying you with things that God already provided for you. See, God sat there and said, all right, look, I'm going to have them in your hands. I'm going to have them in your presence for a little bit. See, God's not going, that's equivalent to somebody had children, asking them to somebody else to watch them. And real parents, what you going to do? You're going to make sure your child got lunch, dinner, whatever the case may be while they with this individual. You're going to make sure that all they needs is upheld. That person really just got to sit there and watch over them. Meaning while you have everything provided for them where technically they watching themselves. But let's talk. God sat there and did the same thing pertaining to you. He done had you in the presence of these individuals. People who's supposed to look out for you. You feeling like they doing certain slick towards you whole time. God presented them certain fruits, abundance, all of these things so that they could provide for you. So certain parents, they prayed for certain love, affection, prosperity to come through. Whole time they didn't realize that they gave birth to it, which was you. So therefore, again, everything that they had getting presented for them to provide for you was based upon the fact that God sat there and was providing for them in order to sit there and be able to look out for you. That partner that you was with that was paying your bills in a sense. You sit there and was putting too much power in them. You could have been appreciative for what they did, but they try to hold certain power over your head, not even realizing that their finances is coming in because you depending on them. And God was like, okay, look, you looking at the shorty, you looking at the so-and-so, I'm going to give you certain bread to come through where you can make sure that they taken care of and at the same time had certain abilities to take care of you too. See, they sat there and was still complaining. And they wasn't even paying shit. They wasn't even paying. That energy, that love, that didn't come out of their pocket. That came, God placed that in their hand. So therefore, you felt like that season that you was depending on them, you was taking care of your children and they was providing for the household whole time. You ain't realized that God had energetically already paid them off. The funds that came in, they wasn't even supposed to see. They were supposed to be facing certain losses. But God was like, okay, well, if Shorty around you, if so-and-so's around you, if my child's around you, I'm going to make sure that you good just to make sure that they good too. That I ain't going to sit there and have you suffering and have them suffering because they sit there and around you. So God had already paid these people off and you sitting there put them on a pedestal. God sat there and had them be able to provide for you so that you can go inside of you, see what is triggering you, start to heal from certain things that you went through, sit there and again find your purpose. So that's what you started to do. See, sometimes the devil try to finesse you, don't even realize he's getting finessed himself. And what do I mean? See, that partner who thought that you was dependent on them, they sat there and felt like you was always going to have to come to them, always have to get certain things from them. They try to energetically attack you so that you feeling like a lacked individual, so you ain't believe in yourself, because when you believe in yourself, you start to manifest certain things that's for you through. You understand me? You have to realize the devil going to try to interrogate you, try to have you questioning what God told you and what you seen. Like, are you sure that you really going to be like that? You sure that you going to really find love? You sure that you really going to have abundance? You sure that that bill's going to get paid off? I'm trying to tell you, it don't matter if I had $5 in my pocket and a bill that was triple that. If God sat there and told me that that bill was going to get paid and he was going to find a way, I know God was going to handle it then. See, all you have to know is that God's going to make it happen. You don't try to calculate on how it's going to happen, because then you're going to end up pausing the progression. You sitting there, it's almost like double dutch in a way. You sitting there trying to see the right time to jump in. You sitting there second guessing yourself, and what do? You start stumbling. Now your ass then hit that chord real quick. Put that jumping to a stop before it even began. See, had you sat there and let the flow in, you ain't rushed that situation and just you allowed your body naturally to go, you would have sat there and been jumping. Man, come on now, chosen ones. Cut that out. You trying to be organized. If you felt like you knew how it was going to get presented to you, why you even go to God and ask him what you were supposed to do then? Why you even ask God to make a way for you if you already knew how you was going to do it? You didn't, and you don't. So therefore, again, be so confident in that God's going to provide certain things that you like, yo, God, I'm going to do what I can do, but I know that you're going to make sure that my shit is just enough in order to make through. How you may have $5 on pump 5, but God's going to sit there and produce that enough where even if you're riding on fumes in a sense, you're going to still go to the location that you need to be at. That no matter if your car was ticking, if your car was shifting, God's going to make sure that you make it there safely. You know how you can find out after you done sat there and took a certain risk or take a certain trip that all of a sudden that you like, damn, how you even make it to that location because you ain't know what was going on up under that hood. See, God, you understand me? You ain't know how that bill was going to get paid off. You ain't know that this person was going to come through for you, but you sat there and put your ego to the side and sat there and showed individuals that you needed help, or you asked God and God sat there and lead those people towards you. See, you got to realize in a sense that sometimes energetically, it's almost like a hitchhiker in a sense, right? They going to get as far as they can go. Then they going to see somebody else that's going in that same direction as them. You may not know where they're going. They may just be going with the flow too. But you know that they heading in the same direction as you, so God wants to see what you're going to do. See, now, I don't recommend doing no hitchhiker shit. It's just a demonstration, all right? You understand? I don't trust that shit, but let's talk. You done got to a certain point, not even realizing that as farther as you was able to push yourself, so music, say you was making the music, but you haven't aligned with somebody that can hear it yet. You did your job. Make sure that you have all these songs aligned. So as soon as that opportunity presents itself, your shit's taking off. You have to do your portion though. Put yourself on the field. See, something similar like football. You got to put yourself on the field. You got to push yourself from people who's trying to hold you back. Certain people that's trying to keep you from getting that catch. You got to move so forward and focus away from where that crowd is all at, in order to be able to free yourself from certain things that's trying to hold you back so you can receive that catch. Get your ass on the field. So that means get in the purpose, get in your position, get in your way of thinking. You understand me? Stand in your confidence. Remember what it is that you trying to do, that you're going to do, what you are doing. You understand me? And let God clear that road for you. People may try to throw little speed bumps in the way, but one thing's for sure about speed bumps. If you pay attention to the size and synchronicities, you know when they gonna come. Speed bump ahead, slow down, so you don't bust up your whip. Speed bumps that they may try to throw in front of you to try to sabotage you, but one thing's for sure, you won't get over them, right? Slowly but surely, you slowed down. You paid attention. Now you got over them. Now you back driving again. If you see another hiccup happen or start to form in the horizon, you know exactly how to handle them. You good. You got everything that you need. You hear me? Why you think so many people try to gang stalk you or group up against you? Because they try to have you doubting you, because they know that the power that you have, whatever you say, whatever you speak is what you seek, and that's what you're going to see. So they're going to try to have you speaking and you in lack. They're going to try to have you feeling like you negative, like you can't do some shit, that you don't have love coming in, that finances aren't, that you ain't in the position that you was previously praying for. They want to sit there and try to interrogate you. And again, with the interrogation, that come them speaking certain foul things about you, lying on you, doing certain things to, again, try to have you distracted. But you got to remember who you are. And every time they say something bad about you, you better say something better about you. They say this. See, they could talk about your hair. They could talk about your clothes. They could talk about your smile. They could talk about certain things, right? See, they talk about your hair negatively, but if you was to change your hair how they wanted you to change your hair, they would still say something negative about it. If they talked about shit, your teeth, My shit ain't perfect, but guess what ain't gonna stop me from smiling up in my person's face, from me smiling about certain things that God presented me. You understand me? So therefore, again, if you got your teeth, they talk about your smile. If your teeth was perfect, what they gonna say then? Oh, they talking about your clothes. So if you was decided to dress up like them, what else they gonna say? See, they gonna try to find something in what you have. So therefore, you might as well do it your way. They gonna find something to complain about. So therefore, be yourself. They don't even know them. That's why they keep changing up. See, chosen ones. You better know who you are, so they can't tell you that you somebody that you ain't. So that they can't persuade you to sit there and carry their insecurities too on you. Oh nah, they better sit there and handle and be able to carry their own weight. It's a no for me. You dumb or dim yourself down. You show them how to brighten up themselves. You show them how to let their light shine too. But if they ain't got no light, then they not the same individuals as you. So therefore, they don't need to be in your room. Get your ass on. You hear me? I'm trying to tell you, chosen ones, you better remember who you are. You better remember what God told you, that person. Oh, you trying to figure out how it's going to work between you. If God told you that's that individual. If God told you that's the person that you're going to build with. If God already told you that there's certain things behind the scenes that you just can't see yet. If God told you that this is what it's going to be, that you're going to be married to them, have children with them, have prosperity with them, then you believe it. You ain't got to know how it's going to happen. But it's going to happen. You got to know that. So in the time being, are you pausing your life waiting for that individual to catch up to you? Oh, nah. Half the time you realizing that you're going to have them come quickly when you shift your energy. When you raise your vibration, that's that magnet. They ain't going to have no choice but raise too. And they going to end up getting picked up from that low vibration that they at, put in the same vibration as you. So sometimes you saving that person is just you raising your vibration. You understand me? Sometimes, again, you playing your position is you just being you and allow everything to align perfectly for you. You got to be yourself so you can attract the person that you're supposed to be with. If you out here acting like somebody else, how they going to know it's you when they see you? See, God told them that they love was going to be presented like this, that it was going to go like this, was going to talk, walk, act like this. So if that person don't check off nothing out that list, so you get a 5 out of 10, that's not your person then. Get your ass on. Because if it's from the divine, you ain't got to compromise. They already going to know what type of time you want, see, chosen ones. I'm trying to tell you, you going to know that that's your person. Based upon their position. Based upon what they went through when you wasn't even with them. Based upon the fact that you can reach out to them and they ain't talked to you in years, talked to you in some months, but you know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what they need to hear at that time. They going to start to put 2 and 2 together. They going to start to see certain signs. See, some people have logical thinkers. They got to see physical proof. Now, that's why this lesson, you told them intuitively already. You told them what God showed you. You told them, listen, we going to be married. We going to have some children. We going to be together. This is going to happen with that person that you see forever with, because it's really supposed to be me that you align with. You already told them, right? This is a test for both of you. God wants to see, are you going to stick with that vision that I showed you? Or because that person don't see it yet, you going to take back everything that you had said? Oh, nah, you better stand solid in it. Because that also was a test for them too. Because now they're going to start to see that you can feel intuitively what's going to get presented to you before it has the opportunity to do it. That sometimes they don't have to wait for physical things to happen. They thought that person was cheating on them. Then they seen it happen. They felt that person was being sneaky. They sat there and looked over their feelings. Now all of a sudden God started to reveal it. See, I'm trying to tell you, chosen one, it's a test. One person's a logical thinker, the other person is a dreamer. So the dreamer has to learn to allow certain things to play out. Patience. Do you believe in what I showed you? I told you this your person. I told you what you're going to get. I told you you're going to be established. I told you you're going to have finances come in. Are you going to be patient and believe what I told you? You got to believe in yourself. So the seers are always the individuals that are typically the most doubtful. Why you think when you have certain visions and intuition, you tell certain people certain things and they try to downplay them. They try to say, nah, you don't know what you talking about. Oh, so-and-so's cheating. You feel like they cheating. No, you tripping. You in your head. That's insecurities that you had. All of a sudden, time play out and you started seeing everything that you felt was going to happen. It got presented, right? See, God showed you. Why you ain't trust you when I told you this was going to happen? Why'd you have to sit there and read further into it? Why you ain't read that summary when I told you this person was going to cheat on you? This was what the story's going to be if you selected an individual. Huh? I told you that they was going to cheat on you. I told you that you wasn't going to be happy. I told you that you going to feel energetically lacking. I told you you're going to have certain karma and consequences that don't belong to you, but you picking up that person's debt because you done sat there and energetically married them or sat there and accepted them, trying to protect them, so now you have to face certain karma consequences and lessons. Huh? God's like, yo, you seen that quick summary? You got a headache when you near them, stomach be all fucked up. You feel drained around them. You hearing certain songs again. If I'm hearing Lil Uzi when I'm on my way to you, this ain't what you want, then I don't want you. Huh? If all of a sudden, every time I'm on my way to talk to you, I'm hearing Tupac hit him up. Fuck you in the clique you claim. Like, huh? What clique you claiming? Huh? Are you saying like, nope, it's a no for me. You understand me? If all of a sudden you in your feelings where you think you about to be sexual, oh, you about to get it on, all of a sudden that commercial about herpes, AIDS, so on and so forth, come on, no sir. Get behind me, Satan. Because why that same commercial keep replaying, huh? They try to have you talking about, they try to beatbox on your shit when your shit's going to be beatboxing based upon the fact that you gave them access to. No. Have your shit coughing, sneezing, all that shit like that commercial. Your shit's on flu season and you wondering why, because that person you was connected to wasn't living right. Huh? What you mean? Your shit done turned into Biz Marquee for this person that you calling talking about is just a friend. Oh, fuck no. I know there's certain risks that come with you then. I'm not freaking, I'm celibate, but if you out there sleeping with certain individuals, that means if I connected to you, I'm accepting those risks that come with those people that you connected to. It's a no for me. What you mean? Huh? Have your shit called, I'm telling you. It's a no. Fuck out of here. Your shit's over there sneezing. Susie looking up to you like, why would you do it? You like, what? I didn't know. Yeah, you did. You seen that commercial. It's a no for me. You heard me. And masculines pretending to you too. If you all of a sudden in the mood, but your body ain't agreeing with you, he like, fuck no. I'm not going, what? I'm not going to fuck over there. You out here trying to talk to your mans like, yo, what is going on? This ain't never happened. You better listen to that motherfucker. You heard me. Won't be having him? No. So you better know that. You heard me. The next person that you sleep with is going to be the person that you actually going to be with. You heard me? The person that you sleep with is the person that you willing to conceive with. The person, if you had pregnancies before where that person that you conceived with wasn't there for them, didn't show love to you, you wasn't getting your feet rubbed, you ain't have no baby showers, you ain't have no happiness around you, then guess what? This next person, you going to get it. You heard me? Even if you talking about you never gonna have children again, you feeling like you finished. Oh nah, if it's in line with the stars, it's gonna happen. You gonna have that spiritual baby is waiting right now to come through. It's just plucking off these nobody ass individuals that you try to take certain risks for them to be produced. They like, oh nah, I'm not sure that you try to choose that person. Nah, that ain't my father. That ain't my mother. Fuck out of here. That ain't her. So your spiritual babies, excuse me. If you sat there and miscarried, or you sat there and had difficulties getting pregnant, it's because you was about to bless somebody else's lineage you didn't earn or deserve it. You was going to reward them for certain work that they ain't put in. They was out there sabotaging other individuals, but they feel like they going to be successful in this season. Oh, nah, you ain't about to give that handsome baby boy to somebody who is a demon. Oh, you're not about to conceive with that shorty who really ain't going to play that position. You ain't, nah, fuck, it ain't happening. So if you keep miscarrying with that person, then you're going to have to make a choice too. See, this might sound hateful to certain individuals, but hear me out. If God is showing you that this person, you're not supposed to conceive with them, you keep having miscarriages with them, you keep having difficulties conceiving with them, that's because you're not supposed to be mixing with them. You understand me? I want you to realize that some of these people on this 3D earth are those people that sat there and deserted God, chose Satan's side. So when you heard certain stories about angels having babies with demons, That's what God was preventing from happening. You was about to bless the lineage with certain things that it wasn't supposed to be getting. So God was like, oh, nah, you're not about to give this angel to that demon. Sit there and put your first child or your first ancestor that comes back through. You're not about to bless them. Oh, nah. So God's going to prevent them from happening to you. So therefore, if you energetically pay attention to the signs and God's telling you that this is the person that you're not supposed to be with, this is the person that you're not supposed to bless their lineage, if you keep putting yourself in that position, then you willingly doing it then. See, because there's some of you couldn't get pregnant with that person you was with for 5 years, and all of a sudden what happened? A few weeks into this next person, you all of a sudden got pregnant. A few months in, you conceived again certain things that you couldn't have with that past person you was with. See, chosen ones, it wasn't supposed to happen. You just got to believe that God is allowing certain things to happen. See, some of you, again, got to pay attention. Signs and synchronicities. That quick little summary that gets presented when that person comes around you. How do you feel around them? How do they treat you? You choose whether or not you want to keep reading that story. Because that story is going to come through. It's going to keep presenting itself to you. So is that worth it? Think of a movie. When you sit there and see the little previews, like, nah, this shit ain't really my type. Get your ass on then. You understand me? You have to realize that, chosen ones. Don't be in your head about what people did to you. How they say forgive and forget. You forgive them because it wasn't about you why they did what they did to you. They sat there and experienced something before they even crossed paths with you. They sitting there taking out what they went through for other individuals, got certain coping mechanisms as well. That has nothing to do with you. So don't think bad about yourself. That's something that they experienced. You were the person that was going to show them that certain love that can come in, certain people that was going to protect them. But if they wasn't willing to accept it, then they neglected it, then you got to keep moving. You understand me? But don't be, when I say forgive and forget, you forgive. You don't forget what they did in a sense, because that's a lesson that came with it. You know how you can use the past tools and what you've seen about these individuals to see when somebody chooses or trying to do it again. You don't forget the lesson that you learned, but you forget the fact that you keep putting yourself in that position. Because there's some of you that keep thinking about the past shit, and because you keep acting like you over it and not acknowledging it, you sit there and start feeling the same way that you felt when you was in that experience. Now you're lump in your throat. You feeling sad. Now you put yourself back in that cycle again. You understand me? Yo, you good. You don't take demons back. You don't feel bad that it didn't work out. You rejoice because that was God protecting you. The fact that those demons didn't accept you shows the great in you. The fact that they couldn't see what God was showing you, that wasn't your crew. Because the like minds is going to have like visions. They're going to know the same thing as you. They're going to be exactly where they're at when they get presented to you, because they listen to what God told them to do. God told them to here, they went there that day. That could be a way that they typically don't go, but they trusted their intuition, went with that flow, met into you. Sit there and don't even realize that they still fate in a sense, that their dreams was truly going to come through. See, they just had to listen. Listen, and God is going to have that person align with you who's in a similar position. Y'all going to have to choose to make this risk. You may not know how y'all going to be established, but you know that God's going to have it happen, so you go with it. You don't sit there and have to fight against the current. You go with God's flow. Meaning, again, you may have to put your leg in the water or kick off of this a few times, but guess what? God's going to be doing most of the work. So allow yourself to coast in a sense. Allow yourself to be cool. Allow yourself to relax. Know that all of your dreams is coming true. You understand me? You gotta believe it. So when the devil tries to interrogate you or question you, have you going back rethinking, because I want you to think again like an interrogation. You, the eyewitness, you seen this shit happen. So think of somebody who that crime is going to go against. They'll sit there and try to get rid of the person who has the evidence, the person who's seen that shit. So the devil going to try to come after you so that he could try to have you not available to speak those truths. Because the more that you speak that truth, the more gets revealed about those individuals. Those trumpets get blown in a sense. And they know that after that truth gets spoke, that trumpet, God's about to be walking in. Justice is about to be served. They know as soon as you call judgment on anybody that's triggering you, working against you, that the time that they about to serve. So therefore, chosen ones, you got to speak your truth. You got to be willing to stand in your power. Protect you too. But don't allow certain individuals to sit there again. Have you doubting what you've seen, certain signs and synchronicities that God showed you, you pay attention. Sometimes you got to keep with them, because if the devil knew what you was about to do, he'll know exactly how to attack you. You understand me? So, again, know that it's happening. Your love, you ain't even got to speak their name. It don't matter if God showed you specifically who it is. Soon as you tell it out loud that that person is your divine partner, the devil gonna go try to attack them. The devil's gonna try to go bother them. The devil's gonna try to send certain distractions, certain things to try to pause their progression so that they can't meet you halfway. If God told you that go here at a certain time, you gonna meet the person, the devil would try to delay them. So now you feeling like that person stood you up in a sense. They battery to their phone could be dead. You can't speak to them. Intuitively, telepathically, you connecting. They talking about be patient, I'm coming. But you ain't talk to them. They little late in a sense. So you not trusting that it's going to happen. Whole time, had you left, they wouldn't have been able to get in contact with you. But you stayed there patient, listen to what God told you to do. It wasn't you staying there, waiting and holding the line up. It was you listening to God when God told you, nah. Right now, this ain't about you finding love. This is patient. You already know the person that you're going to be married to. But they got a few lessons to learn, so I can fix them up in a sense before they get represented to you. You understand me? Certain loose ends I got to get tied up. Because when it comes to you, they not going to be able to do the same thing that they did to the past individual. They not going to want to cheat on you. They not going to want to sit there and try to sabotage you. They not going to want to try to hurt your feelings. They not going to want to make you feel less of you. So therefore, that's half the time why some of them distance themselves from you, because they got to sit there and disconnect from certain past traumas. Some of them don't believe in them. They don't believe that they can have better. But they starting to see when you believe in yourself, what did you start to be? Everything that you set out to do, when you made your mind up, you already made it, and God started manifesting certain things for you. You just had to walk. That's it. Keep moving. Keep moving. That's all you got to do. Listen to God. He tell you to break for a moment, pause for a moment. But when he tell you to get back at it, that's what you need to do. Believe in you chosen ones. He showed that quick glimpse to you. You already seen that quick summary of how certain things was going to happen. Believe it. Keep walking. Pay attention. But listen, I got to get up off here because I do have a few readings to do. Please remember, I never reach out to you for a reading. You got to be ready to receive it, because I ain't sugarcoating nothing for you, all right? I don't use no crystal balls. I don't use no tarot cards, no downplay to those who do. I'm going to talk to you just like I'm talking to you now. I'm going to give you certain confirmation based upon what God tells me to tell you. You ain't going to have to tell me nothing about you, because I'm going to give you that cold word in the sense that you spoke to God, and I'm going to present to you. So certain things that you held inside, I'm going to tell you about. Past things you went through, current things you going through, future things that's designed for you. Now remember, in my coaching sessions, you can ask me as many questions as you want. So for that whole half an hour session, we over the phone, we speaking. You can vent if you want. Again, I'll provide insight for you, but I'm here to help you. The confirmations is going to have you believe in you too, because these are certain things that you already felt was the truth. You understand me? I love you. Readings, I record those messages for you so that you can replay, go back for confirmation. Sometimes you just need an uplift. I got you. You understand me? But again, you'll never have to tell me personally about you. If you get a coaching session and you want to vent, I got you. But just know I'm going to let you know, all right? I love you so much. Y'all continue to be great. I'm going to upload this live on my YouTube. All I ask you to do is send it to an individual that you feel needed to hear that message too. Or like it just so that the algorithm goes so we can connect to like-minded individuals. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I love you so much. Thank you again for all y'all's gifts. I didn't get applause to say. You want to say to acknowledge it. Thank you, his beloved. Thank you. All of you who've been contributing, whether it's likes, kind words, so on and so forth. I love you. Y'all continue to be great. If you need me, you know how to reach me. Be great.